good evening, night companions. Welcome back to the Quiet Hour, that space where we sit with the uncomfortable truths about who we really are when no one is watching. I'm here with you tonight, whether you're lying awake with your conscience, driving through the darkness with your thoughts, or simply wondering if the shortcuts you've taken will ever catch up with you. If this is your first time finding us in the quiet, welcome. This is where we talk about the choices we make when we think nobody will notice. If tonight's story makes you uncomfortable, good, that means it's working. Subscribe and stay with us on this journey of honest reckoning. Tonight, I want to tell you about Marcus Chen, 3 executives, and a test that revealed who they really were when they thought no one was looking. Marcus Chen was the founder and CEO of a successful tech company in San Francisco. At 68, facing retirement, he needed to choose his successor from 3 vice presidents he'd been grooming for years. But Marcus had learned something in his decades of business, resumes lie. Interviews perform, references exaggerate. He needed to see who these people really were. So he devised a test. He called in Sarah, David, and Jennifer, his 3 VPs, separately. To each, he gave the same assignment. I need you to spend the next month documenting our company culture. Interview employees at all levels. Capture what makes us who we are. I want authentic voices, real stories. Put together a comprehensive report. This will determine my final decision. Sarah took the assignment seriously. She knew Marcus valued authenticity above all else. For weeks, she stayed late every night, conducting genuine interviews with everyone from janitors to senior managers. She recorded their stories with care, captured their honest feedback, even the critical parts. Some nights she'd drive home at midnight, exhausted but knowing she'd done thorough work. Her report was 200 pages of real voices, unfiltered truth. David saw it differently. He was smart enough to know what Marcus wanted to hear, but too busy to do the actual work. He delegated the interviews to an intern, skimmed the notes, and cherry-picked the positive stories. He added some generic corporate culture language copied from other companies' websites, padded it with stock photos of diverse teams collaborating, and called it done. His report looked impressive but was hollow to 30% real, 70% performance. Jennifer was the clever one. She'd watched Marcus for years and knew he was old school. Didn't read long reports, probably just wanted to see effort. So she gamed the system. She interviewed maybe 5 people, took their quotes out of context to sound inspirational, then filled the rest with AI-generated content and motivational platitudes from LinkedIn. Her report was 150 pages of beautifully formatted nothing. She submitted it 3 days early, confident she'd outsmarted the assignment. Marcus received all 3 reports. He didn't read any of them. Instead, he called his 3 VPs into his office. Effective immediately, he said, "Each of you will lead a new division. Sarah, you'll launch our expansion into sustainable tech. David, you'll head our employee retention initiative. Jennifer, you'll oversee our customer experience transformation. You'll have 6 months and identical budgets. Your compensation will be based entirely on the results you deliver using the groundwork from your reports." The 3 executives left excited, competitive, ready to prove themselves. 6 months later, the results were devastating in their clarity. Sarah's division thrived. She'd built real relationships during those interviews. When she needed insights, she had authentic connections. When she faced challenges, people who'd been genuinely heard were willing to help. Her report had been her foundation, and it was solid. David's division struggled. His surface-level research meant he kept hitting walls he hadn't anticipated. The interviews his intern had done were so shallow that he had no real understanding of the company's dynamics. He spent 6 months scrambling, trying to build relationships he should have already had, discovering problems he should have already known about. Jennifer's division collapsed. Built on nothing, it produced nothing. Without real insights, without genuine understanding, without actual relationships, she couldn't execute anything meaningful. Her cleverness had created an impressive-looking facade with no foundation. By month 4, it was obvious. By month 6, it was unsalvageable. Marcus called them back into his office. "Sarah," He said, "You'll be CEO. You did the hard work when you thought no one would check. You built something real." He turned to David. "You'll stay as VP, but you've learned why shortcuts catch up with you." Finally, Jennifer, "I'm letting you go. Not because you failed, but because you never really tried. You tried to game a system, and in business, in life, that always catches up with you eventually." After they left, Sarah stayed behind. "How did you know?" she asked. "You never read our reports." Marcus smiled. "I didn't need to read them to see who you really were. I just needed to give you a task and watch what you did when you thought I wasn't watching. The real test wasn't the report. It was who you became in the process of creating it." Friends, here's what keeps me up at night. We're all creating reports right now. Every day, we're given tasks where we could do it right, do it halfway, or fake it entirely. And we tell ourselves it doesn't matter if we cut corners, if we fake authenticity, if we game the system, because who's really checking? But life is checking. Life is always checking. The first executive did the hard work and had the foundation when it mattered. The second took shortcuts and paid for it when reality demanded substance. The third gamed the system and discovered that you can't build anything real on pretense. Which report are you creating right now? Not for your boss or your company, for your life. When you're given a task, do you do it with integrity when no one's watching? Or do you perform just enough to look good? Or worse, do you fake it entirely, thinking you're clever for gaming the system? Because here's the truth that story reveals. Eventually, life will ask you to build something on the foundation you've been creating. And that's when you discover whether you've been doing real work or just performing. The shortcuts catch up. The fake work reveals itself. The gaming of systems collapses under pressure. Not immediately, not obviously, but inevitably. That's our uncomfortable truth for tonight here on the Quiet Hour. What corners are you cutting that you think no one will notice? Share your honest answer below, not the performance version, the real one. And if you're new here, subscribe as we keep having these hard conversations with ourselves. Until tomorrow night, remember, you can fool the people watching, but you can't fool the life you're building. Do the real work. Create the real foundation. Your future self is counting on it. Sleep well, drive safely. And tomorrow, do one thing right even when no one's checking. Good night, friends.